Today from the Global Lane, Egypt, Sinai, and the new state Middle East peace plan. Is it time for new ideas and a two-state solution? 5 years after ISIS invaded their country, Iraqi Christians are still living in squalor in Turkey. We'll talk to one man who is trying to help. College professor resigns over Chick-fil-A. And giving 16-year-olds the right to vote. She's not kidding.
And it's all right here, right now, from the Global Lane. This spring, President Trump plans to announce his long-awaited Middle East peace plan. He's being tight-lipped about it. Already, some are saying the plan will be dead on arrival. Trump has worked hard to bring Gulf state Arabs into the peace process, and now another plan brings in Egypt. It's an idea called the New State Solution, which focuses on a Palestinian state in Gaza and parts of the Sinai. Here to explain more from Washington, D.C. is Yaakov Perry. He's the former head of Israel's Shin Bet Security Service and former Minister of Science and Technology. Welcome, Mr. Perry.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for having us.
So tell us, what is the New State Solution Initiative?
Well, after more than 50 years, all the negotiations between Israel and Palestinians failed. Put the blame on Israel or put the blame on Palestinians, doesn't matter. There is no solution, and we have to head toward a solution which separates the Palestinians from Israel. We are coming with a new idea, the New State Solution idea, which says that Egypt will lease 10% of the Sinai Desert. Egypt is holding 60,000 square kilometers of Sinai. We will annex it as a lease to the Gaza Strip, and we will build, or help to build, the new independent Palestinian state there. It gives the Palestinians a lot of benefits, like a new own state. We are not dealing anymore with the right of return. It gives Egypt a big economical power, a guarantee for security, and of course, a status which Egypt is seeking to be a hegemony in the Middle East. There are also questions that are unanswered, but the humanitarian situation nowadays in Gaza needs a quite immediate solution.
Well, the Trump administration is kind of tight-lipped about its soon-to-be-released peace plan for the Middle East, and some are already saying it's dead on arrival. What do you think is in it? Is it dead on arrival?
Well, nobody knows really what are the details. The rumors are claiming that it's based on the Clinton plan. And if it's the more of the same of Clinton plans, it will probably not work mainly from the Palestinian side. But we'll have to see and wait to see what's coming on. The New State Solution is a solution that can work. It depends, of course, with the Egyptians, the Palestinians, the Israelis, and the moderate Arab big states. And all those that I mentioned are partners to this idea.
Well, I was going to ask you, is al-Sisi behind this in Egypt? And will the plan likely include some of the ideas of New State, Trump's plan?
Well, I hope so. And as far as we know, we have begun some discussions with people who are close to the Egyptian authorities, and it seems to be hopeful, because Sisi is quite involved in what's going on in Gaza and in the Palestinian issue, and to lease 6,000 square meters is not something that probably Sisi will object.
Well, he's been receiving a lot of terrorism from the Sinai, so I'm sure he would prefer to see this. And it seems President Trump wants to use economic development and investment in the Palestinian territories, of course, with the help of wealthy Gulf states, as an incentive for a peace deal. So what are your thoughts on that, and could that also apply to the Sinai?
No doubt, no doubt. The biggest Arab moderate state are sharing two interests with Israel, the anti-Iranian one and the fight against the radical Islam. economical projects in the West Bank and mainly in the Gaza Strip are going to be part or a very important part of the solution. Yes, the answer is positive.
Well, and I don't want to be pessimistic here, but how do you negotiate peace with a divided Palestinian leadership? You have Hamas in Gaza, Fatah in the West Bank. Neither seem willing to negotiate.
You're absolutely right. What's going on inside the Palestinian population, society, is quite complicated. But I think that if we will come with a new state solution idea, which is something very creative, doable, we can roll it on. We still have some partners in the Palestinian side, and I'm sure that it will gain a majority of the Israeli public. So we have to start, because the humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip is on the edge of a humanitarian crisis. And the sooner the better.
And finally, as you know, many evangelical Christians here in the United States, big supporters of Israel, and a lot of them don't support a two-state solution. So what would you like to see our viewers do? What can they do about this, if anything?
I would urge them to support a two-state solution, because a separation between Israel and the Palestinian is a must, is a Israeli interest and a Palestinian interest. And the Sinai Desert is a very, very creative idea which can work. Of course, we have questions still left about the West Bank and about Jerusalem, and we will have to solve it. But those who are supporting the existing and the survival of the State of Israel should heavily support this new state solution, which you can, of course, find more details in the newstatesolution.org.
Well, new ideas, new solutions. Okay, Mr. Yaakov Perry, thanks for bringing us your insights from Washington, D.C. Toda rabba.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary, for having us.
CBN presents The I Wills of God, your path to overcoming fear and anxiety.
We're going to talk about some of the incredible promises God has made to His children.
In Pat Robertson's newest teaching, you'll discover the I Wills of God. I will rescue him, protect him, answer him, be with him in trouble, deliver him, honor him, satisfy him with long life, show him my salvation, and see amazing stories of God's promises in action.
What I felt was loved and treasured.
God spared my life twice in 3 days.
The good Lord had given me a second chance.
Break free from stress and despair.
The Lord doesn't want you to live in fear, but to know the rewards given to those who love God.
Call 1-800-700-7000 or visit cbn.com. The I Wills of God, your path to overcoming fear and anxiety.
Hello, I'm Terry Newsom. Did you know there are more than 148 million orphans in the world today? 148 million. But it was 3 little girls that taught me about the plight of orphans. My husband and I spent nearly a month immersed in the daily activities of a Ukrainian orphanage as we waited to adopt 3 sisters. I saw firsthand the utter loneliness, the pain of rejection, and the overwhelming desire to be loved. That experience changed me forever. And out of it grew a ministry from my heart called Orphans Promise. Today, we're helping orphans and vulnerable children in more than 50 countries worldwide. Thousands of children are now in safe homes. They're being educated, and they're learning life skills. I'm asking you to join with me and become family to these children. Will you call the number on your screen right now? Because every child deserves a chance to be happy.
The fall of the final ISIS enclave in Baghouz has created thousands of new refugees along the Syria-Iraq border. The United Nations estimates there are now at least 250,000 Syrian refugees residing inside Iraq. They join about 2 million Iraqis who are still displaced there. And 15 years after the start of the Iraq War, 5 years after ISIS overran much of their country, as many as 23,000 Iraqis are still living as refugees in neighboring Turkey. Well, joining us with more is a man who is called to help them. He's Father Ade Remzi Daril, one of only 2 Chaldean priests in all of Turkey. Father Remzi, so why haven't these Iraqis returned home?
Many people want back to Iraq, their home, but there is many problem to back to home. The first problem is, in general, is security, and many people, they lost his home. So when they back, there is no home, there is no school, and how they go back. And there is 5 years and more, they are still in refugees in Turkey. They're refused by UN not accepting another country to go. So they take it away. Now they can't, can't back to home. There is no place. For that, they want help to go to continue their life in another country, be safe.
What is the situation like for these people? I'm assuming they are Christians.
The good things, they have government take care about them, about health, about they can stay there until now. But after this years, there is many things going to change. And many cities, I travel, many cities, about 35 cities I travel every time in year for pastoral working with these people. But the extra we working with these people for helping them about rent, about food, about many things they need. Also in the hospital, many cities, they don't accept the people in the hospital. There is many problem. They can't pay.
I think most Americans would assume our government, the State Department, USAID, and churches are assisting them. Are they getting any help from people other than you?
I know there in the USA, Christians, they are helping to people. They donate many organizations, and the helping arrive to us to help our Christian in Turkey.
So finally, Father Remzi, what can our viewers, the people who are watching this, what can they do?
We have some families, new Christian. They want to continue Christian life. Please help these people who want to enter Christianity, the freedom of religion. We have problem because some people, they are not free about these things. And our Christian, we have many sick. There are cancer problems, and they must to continue his life in new country to give them medicine. Please donate those people who live, he can't give the rent his home to live in Turkey. And please help to all people who didn't have food and medicine. I want to say thank you. Until now, many Christians in USA, they are helping. In Jesus, we are one. We are one when we are feeling our brothers' situations in many places, in Turkey, in Amman, in Lebanon, in Iraq. So every time we talk about only Iraq, but there is many people on way. Maybe we can encourage them to back or encourage them to coming rescue his lives. For that, I want to thank you so much for all the Christian and USA. For all your day you are working, and from all the working you are tired, and you donate your brothers in Jesus. As a priest, I want to thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for being a voice and for helping our brothers and sisters in Christ Iraqi refugees in Turkey. Father Adde Remzi Daril, thank you for joining us.
Parents, the Superbook Bible app is a great way to get your child reading the Bible, because in today's busy world, we can use some help. The free Superbook Bible app has fun stuff your kids will love. They'll have a blast learning the Bible, playing great games, watching cool videos, discovering heroes in the Bible. They'll have fun while they learn God's Word. The Superbook Kids Bible app, available now.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Discover the I wills of God. I will rescue him, protect him, answer him, be with him in trouble, deliver him, honor him, satisfy him with long life, show him my salvation.
What I felt was loved and treasured.
God spared my life twice in 3 days.
The good Lord had given me a second chance.
Call 1-800-700-7000 or visit CBN.com. The I wills of God, the latest teaching from Pat Robertson.
Late last year, we told you how Rider University banned the Christian food chain Chick-fil-A from its campus. Now, the dean at the College of Business at Rider has resigned because of that ban. Joining us with more is Campus Reform's Emma Michelle. So, Emma, what specifically did Dean Cynthia Newman say when she resigned?
Well, she actually sat down after Chick-fil-A came out with this statement saying, after Rider came out with this statement saying that Chick-fil-A had not progressed along with Rider's values. Cynthia Newman, rather than retaliating to the school, asked for a meeting and sat down with them to ask for an apology for the statement. And she was met with a set of talking points rather than an apology, or rather than even a reasonable meeting where they discussed what was going on. She was met with a set of talking points that told her how to respond to people asking her about the issue. And the talking points were just another iteration of the school trashing Chick-fil-A, trashing a Christian company. And at that point, we interviewed Cynthia Newman. We talked to her about her decision. She said that she could no longer in good faith work there. And I have to say that I commend her for standing up for her faith. It's not easy to just walk away from a job. And she had a good job, a high-profile job. She was the dean of the College of Business at Rider University. And it's got to be a difficult decision to do that, but she made the call to walk away and stand up for her values.
Well, I could see how she just didn't want to be a part of that. So what message is this sending to other universities that have also banned Chick-fil-A or are considering a ban?
Well, really, there has been an anti-Christian sentiment on college campuses for a long time now. This is something that we've been covering at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform. A school in Wisconsin banned a student from handing out Valentine's cards with Bible verses written on them. A school in Iowa, University of Iowa, banned a Christian group from being able to make leadership decisions that restrict those who don't believe in Christianity from becoming leadership. And they actually won a lawsuit that allowed them to decide who was going to be the leaders of their group. And it's important that we are holding schools accountable when they restrict students' freedom of religion and their employees' freedom of religion. We have to hold them accountable for this because it's not acceptable, and that's not something that should be going on in our country. And
also freedom of speech, because when you give someone talking points and say, we'll talk about this, now, don't share your opinion, talk about this. Now, I'm sure many people admire Dean Newman at Rider for standing up for her beliefs, but what difference, Emma, does this really make? Is Rider likely to maintain this ban on Chick-fil-A? I mean, it may make Dean Newman feel good and other people who support her, but it's not really going to change anything at Rider, is it?
Well, Ryder, they're going to make the decision that they're going to make, but I hope that this brings some accountability to the school, and this is going to send a clear message to Christians who may be considering sending their kids there or enrolling themselves or even donating to the school.
And that's why you're here, and that's why we're here, to make sure people know what's going on.
Exactly.
You've taken a look also at how taxpayers in New Jersey are paying for illegal immigrants to attend college there. Tell us about that.
Well, yes, the state of New Jersey has given, just since last fall semester started, $1.6 million to illegal immigrants for scholarships for school. And this really reflects a broader trend in higher education of rewarding illegal immigrant students over regular students who we know it's hard enough to pay for college as it is. And it really sends a message that, for one, illegal students are being placed above students who are here legally and who are citizens, but also that the college campus is a shelter from federal law. And that's not the right message to be sending on a college campus where students should be learning about how our country does work and how our laws do work.
How common is this on other college campuses, Emma? I know Gonzaga out in Washington State. Tell us a little bit about other places.
Yes, it's quite common to see this rhetoric and this attitude come from different college campuses. And like you mentioned, Gonzaga University actually instated a small student fee in every student's tuition of a few dollars so that they could levy more scholarships for illegal immigrants. And they even invoked their Catholicism when they were doing this, saying that it is a Christian value to represent those who are coming from other situations. And the unfortunate thing about this is that it takes the debate in the wrong direction. And academia and higher education in general is definitely the place where we should be having conversations about immigration and maybe even about changing our laws so that they're a little more clear and people can come to our country and contribute if that's what they want to do. But that's not what's happening here. Colleges are taking an extreme position and saying that we disregard federal law, we want to ban ICE and ban the police from our campuses and make sanctuary campuses, and that's sending the wrong message to students, but it's also not productive to finding a better solution for our immigration issues.
Emma Michelle of Leadership Institute's Campus Reform, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Gary.
When you give, smiles grow bigger. When you care, homes are happier. When you comfort, the hurt goes away. When we all come together to love, miracles happen.
Hello, I'm Terry Newsom. Did you know there are more than 148 million orphans in the world today? 148 million. But it was 3 little girls that taught me about the plight of orphans. My husband and I spent nearly a month immersed in the daily activities of a Ukrainian orphanage as we waited to adopt 3 sisters. I saw firsthand the utter loneliness, the pain of rejection, and the overwhelming desire to be loved. That experience changed me forever. And out of it grew a ministry from my heart called Orphans Promise. Today, we're helping orphans and vulnerable children in more than 50 countries worldwide. Thousands of children are now in safe homes. They're being educated, and they're learning life skills. I'm asking you to join with me and become family to these children. Will you call the number on your screen right now? Because every child deserves a chance to be happy.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
Recently, House Democrats went on the record in support of illegal immigrant voting. Yes, the House voted 228 to 197, defending the practice, which is taking place in some American communities. It's all part of an effort by Democrats to gain new voters for their party. They know illegal immigrants would likely vote for them because the party supports open borders, sanctuary cities, and entitlement benefits for illegals. The thinking is, let them in, give them stuff, and they'll vote for us. And now Speaker Pelosi says it's time to add more potential Democrats to the voting rolls. Let's give 16-year-olds the right to vote.
I think it's really important to capture kids when they're in high school, when they're interested in all of this, when they're learning about government, to be able to vote.
Good idea, bad idea? Speaker Pelosi's comments stirred up many opposing voices on social media, some of them quite humorous, actually. The responses came from young people, also some adults, who remember what it was like to be 16. Populist Media posted this video to Twitter. It's from 3 years ago. It depicts two teenage boys preparing to skateboard through a trail of fire. First, they pour some gasoline, then they set it ablaze. Uh-oh, how did that happen? Don't forget to drop and roll. Well, I'm glad he's okay, but do you really want these guys voting? I can hear them now. Yeah, dude, Beto sounds cool to me. But let's put the skateboard and flammable liquids down and dig a little deeper, okay? In response to Pelosi and the idea of 16-year-olds voting, one person tweeted this about Beto O'Rourke. Beto wrote stories about killing kids when he was 16. Well, that's a reference to a murder fantasy written by O'Rourke when he was a teenager. He said he isn't proud of it. Others tweeted about the stupid things they did when they were teens, like this one. A man said he made $20 for drinking a shot of Dial soap. This person said he and some friends bought a live lobster and then walked it on a leash around the neighborhood at 2 a.m. I guess 16-year-olds don't walk their lobsters in the daylight. Well, one parent of teenagers tweeted, "Go hang around 16-year-olds, seriously?" And a high school teacher wrote, "I am completely 100% against this. I wonder if that person teaches civics or a government class." Another person said when he was 16, he had to ask the teacher to explain who John Boehner was. Yes, even adults do dumb things, and many don't know that John Boehner is the former Speaker of the House, and they vote. Well, true, but should we expand the pool of uninformed voting idiocy? Many young people tweeted no. This one said, "I'm over half a year away from being able to vote, and I can say 100% that I'm still not mature enough to vote. Having a 16-year-old who relies on their parents still isn't who you want to pick the president." Yes, 16-year-olds don't have the emotional maturity and experience to be granted the right to vote. In this country, they are minors, children. Some may argue that even 18-year-olds aren't mature enough to vote, but 18-year-olds can be sent off to war. Most Americans probably agree if you can be sent to a foreign conflict and risk your life for your country, you should be given the right to vote for or against the politicians who send you there. So think again, Madam Speaker. Your zeal to gain millions of new Democrat voters is clouding your judgment. If you want to advocate illegal immigrant voting rights and the casting of ballots by 16-year-olds, go right ahead. But Bernie, Biden, Beto or not, ideas like that may cost your party dearly in the next election. Well, that's it from the Global Lane. Be sure to follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And until next time, be blessed.